Hey, what's up, guys? I was looking at a different screen. Didn't even realize that it switched over. What's up? Ryan here with Carry University. I'm excited that you guys are joining me. What is up, Facebook user? I hate how it does that, but it doesn't tell me your name. So if you're going to post a comment, put your name in there so I can see who you are. So we are here answering questions about Florida concealed carry, hanging out, talking about some fun stuff. And what is up? What is up? Let me know your name, who you are, because for some reason I can't see your name. So that's pretty important. I don't know if you guys saw, but President Joe Biden wasted no time on Sunday on the anniversary of the Parkland shooting, talking about some pretty massive gun control things, all things that we knew that he wanted to do. But I think it's going to be interesting to see how long it's going to take for them to really kind of act on it. So I think it's going to be crazy. What's up, Cobb? Good to see you, man. Randall, Michael, what's up? Zoe from Orlando, what is up? Craig, good to see ya. Armed and Ready group. Rose, good to see ya. Melvin, Victor, what's up? What's up? Tyler, coming in from Tampa. Scheduling the advanced concealed carry class. Awesome. Chris, what's up? RV Dog and Drew, what's going on, man? So Tiffany and I got into a really big fight today. A little side note of our marriage thing. So we're getting ready to sell our house, and I had the handyman over, and I was like walking around saying, hey, we got to fix this. We got to paint this, right? And I said to the handyman, hey, I need you to rip this up. So the guy ripped it up. It was like a little deck thing. He ripped it up, and man, Tiffany was upset. I didn't realize she wanted to keep it. I thought we were getting rid of it. But tell me, men on here, if you can relate with that, doing something accidentally. I didn't do it on purpose. It was definitely an accident. But she is very angry at me. Very angry. So make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. And if you've got, yeah, Tyler says doghouse for you. Yeah, she's not impressed. But it's okay. We'll get over it. So, Ryan, have you tried the new Walther PDP 9mm? I actually have not heard of a Walther PDP, but I can tell you, I'm going to Google it real quick. I haven't really been impressed with a lot of Walther guns lately. PPQ is nice, but like their CCP, yeah, it just looks like a basic, I don't know. I'd have to touch it, feel it, and kind of get the hang of it, but yeah, I'm not really sure. Okay, somebody says, do I think 40 Smith & Wesson is a good round for self-defense? So it's a great question. Here, I think sometimes gun people get too caught up in the stuff that doesn't matter instead of focusing on the things that actually matter. In my opinion, the caliber gun that you choose is really not that important. If you have a 9mm, a 40, or a 45, you're going to wreck that bad guy, probably. Does that make sense? I just think it's pretty irrelevant. I think what is more important is that you carry your firearm on your body 100% of the time you are legally allowed to. You know, it's really fascinating. I was teaching a class yesterday and asked this young man, he said he's got like a 1.5-year-old baby. His wife is going to be having their next baby in April. And he said, I'm only going to keep, I asked him, why do you want to carry a gun? And he said, I'm only going to keep my gun at my house, and I may bring it with me if I know I'm going to need a gun. Now, you guys probably heard about the 1-year-old baby that got kidnapped, literally the next subdivision away from my house, got kidnapped right out of the driveway. So the mother comes home from grocery shopping. The baby is sleeping. Nobody wants to wake a sleeping baby, right? So she's bringing groceries into the house, and you got to think you're only in the house for a few seconds. I have done this, so I understand. Comes outside, some bad guy had jumped in the car, started it, and was driving away with the baby. Do you honestly think that mother thought she was going to need a gun that day? And hopefully I was able to get this young man to kind of realize it. But having your firearm on you 100% of the time is far more important, in my opinion, than the caliber you choose. Having a high level of training with that gun is much more important than the caliber you choose. In my opinion, probably 90% of gun owners, you heard that right, 90% of gun owners own a gun, they have a concealed carry permit, but they do not possess the skill set to actually use that firearm at a high level during a violent attack. So you need to have a gun consistently. You need to have a high level of training with that gun. Those are the things that matter. Whether you choose a 40 is irrelevant in my opinion. Okay, let's see. I'm just going to have to build her a new deck. Yeah, Michelle, we're selling the house. So it doesn't make sense. But honestly, if she wants me to rebuild another one, I'll just pay the handyman to rebuild that. Okay, Juan Carlos says, why do you hate Taurus? Have you shot the G3 or the G3C? I have not shot the G3. It's not about the way Tauruses shoot. It's about Taurus as a company. So you got to remember, like, you probably own 1 or 2 Taurus products. When I was a gun dealer, I was selling hundreds of them, thousands in a year, right? And then when customers are upset because things break, they come to me to try to help them fix it. So when the Taurus G2C first came out, I sold it to a customer, and I'm going to ask you a question in a second. You got to put it in the comments. The guide rod snapped on this Taurus G2C. Snapped, which should never happen, but it happened. So how long would you think is they have a lifetime warranty, right? What's a reasonable amount of time that it should take for them to send me a new guide rod for my customer? Post a comment down below. I'm not going to answer it until I get a couple comments. Somebody says, build a badass deck at the new house. I'm building Joey, I am building Tiffany a gorgeous house. And trust me, she's happy about it. But also what's aggravating her is she got up at 3 in the morning. She's been working all day. So I think she's just overly tired. Okay, Cobb says they should get you the next one overnight. Jose says 2 to 3 weeks. Melvin says next day. It took 1 year. It took 12 months for Taurus to send me the simple product of the guide rod. And let me share the story of why they finally sent it. They didn't send it because they wanted to. They sent it because I told them I was going to post a YouTube video of their conversation with me. So because of blackmail, they finally honored their warranty. So I was going back and forth. Every couple weeks, I was calling Taurus, like, what's happening? Where's the part? Blah, blah, blah. And then finally, at like about the 9-month, 10-month mark, Taurus said, hey, listen, the manager, or yeah, I guess it was later, right at the year mark. The manager, I said, listen, you guys don't have the part, but you have the gun, right? You have new guns. Let me send you the broken gun, and you just send my customer a new gun. Like, you've got a customer here that is pissed because he can't shoot the gun that he just paid $300-400 for. And the manager said, okay, I think that's fair. We'll send you a new gun. Just send us a broken gun first. So I shipped it to them. I waited about 10 days. And then I called and said, hey, man, like, are you guys going to send me the new gun? I haven't got it yet. And he said, actually, we changed our mind, and you're going to have to wait for the parts like everybody else. And I said, okay, Mr. Manager, what you don't realize is I've been recording all of my phone calls with you over the last couple months because I've been getting run around. I'm going to take all these phone calls, and I'm just going to post them on YouTube, and we're going to see what your customers think about what you guys have done. Guess what got overnighted to me the next day? A brand new gun for my customer. Should a gun dealer that is spending tens of thousands of dollars a year with your company have to do that? Should a customer who just spent a bunch of money on your gun that has allegedly a lifetime warranty have to do that? The answer is no. And that's why I refuse to ever say anything positive about Taurus, regardless of what they say. All right, so let's see some other quick questions here. Tyler says, I don't have kids, just my girlfriend and myself. She is familiar with firearms as well. I have a safe, but I feel like it adds an extra step if I ever have to get it to it. Your thoughts if no kids? Yeah, if you don't have any kids, Tyler, then there's not an issue. Just make sure, you know, if you got a handyman coming to your house, a plumber, your cleaning person, whatever, make sure you put that gun away so that they don't steal it or do something dangerous with it. Neil says, suggestions on a holster. Now, I have a really awesome course called The Right and Wrong Way to Carry a Gun that really details everything, my opinions about holsters, so you can check that out. I use, oh, my gun's over there. I use a Tier 1 Concealment Axis Elite, which I really love. And here are the big things with a holster. Don't be cheap. You need to just spend 50, 60 bucks, which I know may be tough as a brand new gun owner, but it's worth it. The cheaper stuff, it's frankly, in my opinion, just not worth the money that you're spending. It needs to be Kydex. It needs to be custom fitted for your gun. And it needs to be comfortable for you to carry every single day. So as long as you can accomplish that, I think you'll be happy. Okay, let's see. Never buy a Taurus. I give money to the GOA. Awesome. What else can I do to help fight against the anti-Second Amendment bills? Richie, great question. What we need to do, what's really important for every gun owner in America to understand, is we have to get out there. I've talked about this lots of times, right? We have the far extremists on both sides, the people whose belief systems are already very well set. So I'm on the far pro-gun side. My opinion is not going to be swayed by anybody. I've already made my decision, right? So trying to pitch and talk to me is going to do nothing. The anti-gun people, those extreme anti-gun people, their opinions are made up. You are never going to make a decision or change those people's minds. Our goal is to talk to those people in the middle, the people who have never really been exposed to guns, the people who have never really talked to a sane, calm gun owner. Our job is to find those people, just have a casual conversation with them. Don't berate them, don't belittle them or anything, but we just need to talk to them. We need to start. The anti-gun community is doing a really good job of moving people towards them with a lot of really catchy slogans and the emotion, right? We need to do the same thing for us. We need to share stories like this mother whose baby was just kidnapped. Let's say I go for a walk every day. Let's say I'm going for a walk and I see this happening and the mother chasing the car down the street. Wouldn't it be nice to know that if I was able to make a shot safely, that I would have the ability to just shoot that driver and save that little child? That's why I carry a gun, is to protect people in that kind of situation. So it's sharing the real life stories of this and trying to convert those people into our way of thinking. That's how we're going to succeed and really fight these anti-gun bills. So hopefully that answers your question. Let's see. Do I like the Sccy CPX-1 or the CPX-2? This comes from Tanner. Yeah, I think Scys are really amazing if that's all you can afford. So Scys are pretty cheap. I don't know what they sell for right now, but normally you could buy a Sccy for $199. They are super high quality. Sccy, you want to talk about a warranty? We had an issue at the gun store with Sccy where a gun wasn't working properly. I don't remember exactly what was happening, but we contacted them. We shipped them the gun. We literally got the gun fixed within like 2 days. So we mailed it, and then it was back in our mailbox. So 2 days later, which is unbelievable. The gun worked and it was perfect. So they have a very good warranty, very good customer service. Their guns work really well. Some of the downsides, you're not going to find a lot of holster options for a Sccy. The trigger really does suck, but I've heard there are some trigger kits that can kind of fix that. But I think it is an amazing gun. If all you've got is $200 to spend, I would buy a Sccy. Okay, Tolster. Yeah, the Tolster holsters are amazing. I absolutely love them. Why does Florida not allow pepper spray over 2 ounces to be shipped if you live in Florida? Cobb, I've never heard that you can't ship it, so that may be something that I just don't know. I know you can't conceal carry it unless you have a carry permit. So you do not need a permit to carry chemical spray as long as it's under 2 ounces and less than, I believe, like 2% OC or whatever. but I'm not sure. You know, a lot of these laws are created by people that frankly don't know what they're talking about, and they just create limitations and things in there thinking that they're serving the greater good, when in reality, they're really accomplishing nothing. Frankly, that's what Joe Biden's policy is, what he was talking about on Sunday. Universal background checks, banning assault weapons. All of those things sound like highly emotional. They sound great, like they're going to actually fix something. But when the Brady bill was first passed in 1994, I believe, 92, it was designed to reduce gun violence by forcing people to go through a background check. Well, lots of studies have been done on the Brady Act, and it has not reduced gun violence at all in America, at all. So the only thing the Brady Act ever did was reduce the number of people that bought a gun from a gun store and then committed suicide. So we already know the data tells us that background checks don't stop criminals because criminals are not buying their guns lawfully. But again, the definition of insanity is just doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. Have I considered carrying the new VP9 or HK VP9 Tactical? I got one as well and love it. I think that gun is probably a little bit too big, and especially because of the threaded barrel, I think it would be a little uncomfortable. And frankly, I have gotten, you know, you guys have probably seen my videos. If you've taken my course, the 21-day dry fire challenge, I talk a lot about building neural pathways and neural networks and how that is the key to becoming an expert pistol shooter, developing a neural network. I have been using Glock 19s for so long. I've tried lots of other guns, but I've been using the Glock 19 for so long, frankly, I don't ever want to switch to anything else. I'll buy and own other guns for fun, range guns and stuff like that, but my actual defensive use guns, I'm pretty much committed now is only going to be a Glock 19 forever because it just feels like an extension of my body. Okay, so Rachel says, I was a moderate on guns. Okay, awesome. Until it was presented to me as a woman and minorities' right issue. So Rachel, that's awesome. And you know, it is a minority issue. Gun control is not about protecting people. Gun control is about controlling people. What most people don't understand, Frederick Douglass, this is one of my favorite stories. Frederick Douglass, who, for those of you who don't know, was an escaped slave. The dude taught himself how to read. Now, this isn't like today, teaching yourself how to read, where you can buy a program to do that or watch a YouTube video and figure it out. This is a guy probably in like a barn somewhere, just struggling and trying to figure it out, but he did it. So then he was one of the leaders of the Underground Railroad. So this is a badass. Now, after the Emancipation Proclamation, blacks are being freed, right? And the South, these evil slave owners, were then going and trying to capture freed blacks and bring them back into slavery. And Frederick Douglass wrote in his journal that every freed black needed to buy a gun. They needed a gun so that they had the ability to defend themselves from these evil people that wanted to hurt them, that wanted to hurt their families and enslave them. It's powerful. It's powerful. So you're absolutely right. And I think, yeah, if somebody would have come at Rachel and just hammered her and said, you know, started spitting all these facts and all this crazy stuff, I highly doubt she would have listened. But you've got to get on people's level, figure out what's important to them, and then you've just got to explain it. I don't carry a gun because I want to hurt anybody. I pray to God that I never have to use a gun in self-defense because I know how horrible it is. But I carry a gun because I love my children. I carry a gun because I love my wife. I carry a gun because if a shooter comes into my church again, because it happened to me, if a shooter comes to my church again, and I love those people so much, even if I don't know them, that I want the ability to stop that attacker. That's why I carry a gun. The media and the anti-gun community loves to paint us all as very unstable, crazy people. Some of us are, some gun people are, but that's not the majority. The majority just want to keep themselves and their family members safe. Okay, Chris says, When can you pepper spray someone? I recently saw a video of a woman leaning on a gentleman's car, not allowing him to leave his parking space. She was not happy about something that happened in the parking lot. He videoed his interaction and asked her multiple times politely to step aside so he could pull out and leave. She was quite aggressive and refused. To me, it looked like false imprisonment under Florida law. Could he have pepper sprayed her? Chris, I don't personally think so. So the requirement to pepper spray somebody, it's Florida statute 776.012, subsection 1. And it basically says you are allowed to use force to stop a bad guy's unlawful use of force. So that woman leaning against his car is not force. It's her being a pain in the ass, but it's not force. Force would be her like grabbing him, her trying to choke him, her punching this guy. That would be force. And in my opinion, that would justify him pepper spraying her or just punching her in the face. But leaning against a car, you know, I think that's one of those moments that you need to be calm. You need to just sit in your car, call 911, and eventually that woman's just going to leave and move on her way. Okay, so Jose says, with prices how they are today, is it more cost-effective to purchase an AR or build one? Frankly, what a lot of people don't understand when you're building a AR-15 is, especially if you're building your first one, is not only do you have to buy all the parts, the upper and the lower components, but you also have to buy a lot of tools. You got to buy the barrel nut wrench. You've got to buy the castle nut wrench. You've got to buy the vise block. So, I mean, you're talking about, I don't know, probably $50, $60 right there. And honestly, it's all a cluster to buy right now. So I would say the bigger issue is you need to get what you can get, and you need to get it quickly before some crazy law comes down the pipe. So price is not going to be the issue. My buddy over at Bunker Depot in Brandon, right off of Parsons, he has a ton of AR-15s, a ton. And when I was there the other day, I was looking at his stuff and I said, Kyle, do you realize your prices are like stupid? Do you realize your prices are like way too low right now? And he said, yep, I know they're too low, but he's selling them for normal prices. These are the prices that you could buy an AR-15 for a year and a half ago. He's selling them right now, brand new. So if price is an issue, go to, what is it called? Bunker Depot, talk to Kyle or Jason, they'll hook you up. Okay, so Robin says, what is a belly band? So you've seen like the yoga pant kind of material, right? So a belly band is like a stretchy kind of nylon fabric. Women will usually wear it like right below their breasts because then that kind of covers the printing, which is awesome. Men will usually wear it right where their belt line would be. And it's usually for like people that are wearing athletic clothing. So if you're at the gym, you're playing basketball, you're working out. I have a lot of people that are jogging or riding a bike. That allows them to carry that gun concealed, eliminate the printing, and still have the ability to have a gun and to be able to be safe. So the belly band that I absolutely recommend is called the Crossbreed Belly Band. It is the only one on the market that is worth the money, in my opinion. Okay, so somebody says, what do you think about the Smith & Wesson SD9 VE? I think it's a throwaway gun. I think, so listen, I don't want to be rude if you own the gun, but there are certain guns that are just not worth it, in my opinion. Typically, if you're spending $200 on a gun, it's just not worth it. And that's the SD9 VE. So it's a very cheap gun. Imagine if Walmart were to make a pistol, that would be the SD9 VE. Okay, it's a Walmart gun. So in my opinion, just save up your money a little bit and get a Smith & Wesson M&P, a Glock, something like that. But the SD9 is just too low on that quality spectrum for me. Save money, get a SIG. I like SIGs. Yeah, Cobb, that's weird. He said, tried to order it, and they said, no way in Florida. There is no Florida law that I have ever heard that has a restriction on that. But maybe that's a restriction on the seller's state, or that just misunderstanding. So Frank says, when I got my concealed carry permit, my day one, the birthday is wrong. Do you think that would be a problem? Yes, that is a problem. You need to update that. You need to contact the Florida Department of Agriculture and you need to get it updated because that's a huge issue. For a first-time carrier, would you prefer a revolver or something like a Glock? So, revolvers, imagine if today the printer in your house broke and you've got to go buy a brand new printer. Do you guys remember the dot matrix printers from back in like the 90s and the 80s? Those are the printers that have the holes in the side of the paper. And when you hit print, it goes. So going today, imagine you went to Office Depot and you purposely bought a dot matrix printer. That is what it is like going to buy a revolver for a self-defense situation. The technology today is just far superior to what revolvers offer. In my opinion, for a first-time shooter, you want to get a big gun like a Glock 19, a Glock 17, the Smith & Wesson M&P, something big. And I know that sounds very opposite of what you're thinking. You're probably thinking you want something small, which is it's a very common false belief that people have. In reality, you want a gun that's very big because the larger it is, the heavier it is, the easier it's going to be to shoot. But my all-time favorite gun for brand new shooters is the Smith & Wesson M&P Shield EZ. You can get it in a 9 or in a 380. It is absolutely amazing. Okay, Tyler says, your thoughts on Hollison. Love the concept, but feel as though the sight would consistently stay on due to movement from carrying. Yeah, I don't own any Hollisons. I don't know much about them, so my opinion is not really valid here. Again, I'm kind of a snob when it comes to this stuff. So I have Trijicon SROs. I have several of them. I'm going to buy eventually in the next couple months a Trijicon RMR to put on this HK that I just got. And as soon as Aimpoint fixes their acro optic, I'm going to buy one of those. So I have no desire to own a Hollison. But again, I don't know much about it. It's just not something that really piques my interest. Okay, Glock 43X, and I agree that I have 2 girls, beautiful wife, and I want to protect them. Awesome. Okay, Tyler says, thoughts on a USCCA? I think it's totally worth it. Has anybody had to use them before? Yeah, there's lots of people that have had to use the USCCA. They have testimonial videos and stuff about it. Rose says, what are your thoughts on the Sergeant revolver? I'm not sure who makes it, Rose, but let me just Google it real quick. God bless the internet. Sergeant firing revolver. I guess searching the internet. Oh, that's definitely not it. So nothing really pops up, Rose. All a bunch of really old stuff. So maybe if you have the make and model, I can find it a little bit better. Okay, let's see. What are your thoughts on the Bersa CZ Springfield Armory 9mm? So Bersa is a good gun. What I learned with Bersa, when I was a gunsmith, I normally could just take a gun apart and without any videos, training, or whatever, and figure out how to put it back together. And it wasn't that complicated. Bersas are a disaster. Bersas are very complicated to fix. And I learned that there's only a handful of Bersa certified gunsmiths in the country. And after I took that first one apart, I couldn't figure it out. I had to send it to one of these gunsmiths, pay some ridiculous fee, and then they sent it back to me. Honestly, I'm not going to deal with that. So Bersa's not a thing for me. I love Springfield. CZs are extremely popular. So I think either one of those you choose, you're going to be very happy. Let's see. What's the name of the dealer in Brandon? So it is Bunker Depot, right on Parsons, and I believe MLK. Yep, Bunker Depot. There you go. CCW safe versus USCCA. No limits with CCW safe. Move the needle in their favor. Sure, that makes sense. Again, you've got to do your own research of what you think makes sense for you. I remember when I was first researching this and trying to figure out what I was going to do, I researched all of them. I think there was only 3 of them at the time. And I just decided, you know what, the USCCA makes the most sense to me. So that's what I chose. But, you got to do your own research and figure out what's good for you. Hey, what's up, Dr. T? Good to see you, man. Okay, Juan says, what do you think is the best Glock for concealed carry? I really like the Glock 19. It's a little bit big and may not be perfect for a lot of new people because of how big it is and how heavy it is. Glock 43X is amazing. I've heard a lot of great things, even though I've never shot it, about the Glock 48. So that's like a Glock 19, but single stack, very slim. And then the Glock 43, the 42 is amazing also. So there's just a lot of options with Glock that are really good. I would tell you go to a gun store and hold all of them, but most gun stores don't have any of them. So yeah, that's tough. What's up, Greg? Oh, that's good to know. Yeah, Tiffany brought up that Bersas do jam a lot. Yeah, it's just, it's, you know, I call it in my training a consumer firearm. So that's like Ruger, Bersa, Taurus, High Point. Those are like consumer grade guns. Those are guns that could never be sold to military or law enforcement because they're just low quality. They may be good enough for like a soccer mom, but it's not good enough for like a special forces dude. And then you have the military police quality guns, which is HK, Glock, SIG, Springfield. In my opinion, I just think it's worth going to that. And it's not about spending extra money. It's just about knowing which gun you should get and it's worth it and which one is not. So let's see. Best Glock sights. Juan Carlos. So I pretty much love the Trijicon HD night sights. So that's what I put on all of my guns. Trijicon HD night sights. Absolutely love it. So it's a orange front sight and then green rear sights, which is awesome. But again, lots of amazing products out there. The XS sight systems, they're really awesome. Let's see what else. True Glow. I had some True Glow TFO sights on some of my guns. Really love those. So there's lots of good options. Robin says, great content. Awesome. I appreciate ya. Okay. Sandy says they have Glock charts online comparing each. Okay. That's awesome. Good. Tyler says Springfield Hellcat. Yeah, I really like the Hellcat. I haven't shot mine lately because frankly, I own too many handguns and can't shoot them all. Yeah, Dr. T says all Trijicon sights are nice. Trijicon does a good job. Okay, so here's one of the questions while I'm waiting for you guys to submit more questions. Here's one of the questions that somebody submitted. Let's see here. So I prefer concealed carry over open carry. When concealed carry is allowed, I'd rather have the element of surprise. I agree with you, Scott. Here's a question. Can you conceal carry while camping, fishing, hunting, or going to and from such events? Yeah, so we're allowed to open carry while you are fishing, camping, or hunting, or on your way to or from fishing, camping, or hunting. In my opinion, use a lot of caution. I'm not telling you not to do it, but I'm telling you to be very cautious. Most police don't know the law. And you're probably going to get stopped. You're probably going to get harassed. If that's something you want to do, then go for it. But if you want to avoid problems, then you should probably just keep the gun hidden and, again, maintain kind of that element of surprise. So Dole says 9, 40, or 45, which is better for self-defense. So Dole, I talked about this right at the beginning of the live stream, so maybe go back to that and listen to it, and you'll kind of get the answer there, buddy. Greg says, thoughts on Hogue grips or grips in general? Yeah, Hogue grips are awesome. They really give you that kind of rubbery texture. Some people that need like it to be, maybe you have a gun that's a little too small in your hand. You need it to kind of fill out a bit. A Hogue grip is a cheap, easy option. So I love Hogue grips. The hard part about a Hogue grip is once you put it on, it's a nightmare to ever take off. Okay, let's see. Recommendations on 308 ammo for when it's needed, not target practice. What did I use when I went hunting? Federal Fusion is what I've typically used when I go hunting. I'm not a big hunter, so other hunters are going to tell you other stuff, but Federal Fusion is what I've used. Couldn't tell you why, but that's what I've used. Okay, Ryan, do you prefer hammer-fired or striker-fired guns? I typically like striker-fired, which is why I'm kind of drawn to Glocks, the HK VP9. I'm okay with hammer-fired guns. I own 1911s and stuff like that. But for a defensive gun, for a carry gun, I probably prefer the striker. I like the drop safety. Obviously, I think that's a pretty big deal. So anyway, think about that. Oh, it's called the Judge Taurus revolver. Yeah, the Judge is interesting gun. It's a cool gun. Again, because I'm not a Taurus person, if I was going to buy one of those, I would purchase the Smith & Wesson Governor, which is significantly higher quality. And the Taurus Judge only allowed, correct me if I'm wrong, only lets you shoot 45 long Colt and 410 shotgun. The Smith & Wesson Governor allows you to shoot 45 long Colt, 410 shotgun, 45 ACP, and 45 gap. So 4 different rounds instead of just 2, and it's significantly higher quality. Okay, any recommendations for self-defense ammo for 5.56? For me, I think I use, it's a hollow point. I'm pretty sure it's Hornady Critical Defense. And I think right now what I have loaded in my self-defense carbine mag is the Hornady Critical Defense zombie ammo. So the tips are green, just in case any, Walking Dead characters pop up and I need to smoke them in the middle of the night. Okay, so James Cox says, has anyone addressed the question of if they deny you? So this is talking about no guns allowed signs in the state of Florida. Has anybody addressed the issue that if they deny you the ability to protect yourself, does that then make them personally responsible and liability for anything that happens to you? If they deny you, they must be required to provide an individual who is armed to protect you and must do this for each individual. And if they fail to do so, they can be held responsible. I've heard this kind of stuff from a lot of different radical gun owners, frankly, over the last decade. It's just not true. So businesses are always liable for really anything that happens to you inside of that business. Anybody that falls and gets hurt, they can sue that business. It happens every day. That's why there are so many personal injury defense attorneys in every city. It's because frivolous lawsuits are very easy to file. Most insurance, the way that it works is somebody files, oh, here's the example. The person that got shot at my gun store got shot by another customer. So me not even involved at all. This guy filed a lawsuit for $1 million against us. And the insurance company just gave him 50 grand because it's less money to give him 50 grand than it is to try to go to court. Even though, again, I was not involved. It was a customer that shot another customer because they're an idiot. My insurance company is the one that has to pay because it happened in my business. That exact same thing happens everywhere. It's just kind of the way that it is. Okay, kids are online again, Ryan. I think Tiffany was online, but I'm sure they are. Who cares? For knives, is there a limit on blade size with a concealed carry permit? And any restrictions on mechanisms, switchblade, manual, going assist, all that fun stuff? So a knife that is of common size, so that's less than 4 inches, does not require a concealed carry permit. Anything above that does require a carry permit. Now, if you haven't already, I encourage you guys to go watch my video on this channel about Florida preemption law. So preemption says that the state of Florida is who sets the laws and the standard when it comes to firearms and ammunition. So that means no county, city, municipality is allowed to create their own law when it comes to firearms or ammunition. There is no preemption law when it comes to knives. So that means every county, every city is going to have a different law or ordinance on what knives are allowed to be possessed and what are not, which is a huge pain in the ass. So I know that down in Miami, so Miami-Dade, Broward County, a switchblade knife, an automatic opening knife, they are illegal. The only thing you're allowed to have is an actual folding manual flip open knife. So use a lot of caution and just be very careful. Okay, Facebook user says, when will your 2021 book be out? Holy smokes, I don't freaking know. The book is done. You guys can buy the digital copy right now. The print copy, we got 3,000 copies coming. They should be here really any day, but frankly, it's just taken forever. So soon, I promise. It's going to be rough, though. Okay, I needed the highlighted screen name for me. Okay, sorry, don't understand what that means. All right, we're going to take a couple more questions here. So Miguel says, how about casinos? I always carry at the Hard Rock in Tampa, but one day I asked security at the building if concealed carry permit holders were allowed to carry in the casino. They told me no, even though they don't have a sign where there's the entrance. So casinos are a little bit kind of a gray area. It's gray because, to the best of my understanding, Indian casinos, even though they're their own territory, they still have to fall under compliance of state law. And in the state of Florida, there are no prohibitions for carrying a gun inside of a casino. So therefore, on paper, it looks like it would be legal, again, this is all my opinion, to conceal carry a gun inside of a casino. The flip side of this is, based on my research, there's no case history about this. So nobody has been caught and prosecuted and where it went to court, and then a judge made a ruling. So that's called a test case, which means whoever the first person is to get arrested and get prosecuted, you're going to decide what the law is and what the law isn't. So for me, I would just use a lot of caution. Be very careful when you're going to places like that. Okay, Cobb says, how do I get a signed 21 copy? I'm pretty sure Tiffany offers that on the website for me to sign it, so not a big deal. Yep, Rachel, it's on the Carry University YouTube channel. Okay, recommended 9mm dummy rounds, and what's your reasoning? We have dummy rounds on our website. I'm not 100% on your question. Maybe you're asking why you need dummy rounds. It's because as a new gun owner, you want to be able to practice loading and unloading your gun, performing malfunction clearing drills, the procedures for safety checking your gun. You want to be able to do all that stuff safely in your house without the fear of something bad happening. So when we owned the gun store, I had this young guy come in. He wanted to buy a gun. So he picked a 1911. It was a Para Ordnance 1911 silver. It was beautiful. And he wanted to buy it as his first gun. So he was saying to me, like, what else do I need? So I said, you got to buy these dummy rounds so you can practice at home. And he's like, no, I'm going to get the gun. I'm going to get the cleaning kit. I don't need those training rounds. So I said, whatever. Sold him all the stuff. Next day, him and his wife come in like pissed. They were pissed. And he said, I want to return this gun. And I said, well, we don't do returns, buddy. Like, that's not legal, first of all. I said, I'll buy it from you, but we're going to buy it at a discount. I said, what's the problem? Like, what are you guys upset about? And the wife said he was sitting at the table. He was practicing loading and unloading the gun. The gun went off, went through their kitchen window and into the neighbor's kitchen window where the wife was cooking dinner, almost shot her. And I said, oh, so I thought you didn't buy any dummy rounds, so why were you practicing? And he said, oh, I was using live ammunition. That's a perfect example of somebody who doesn't want to listen to the experts. They just want to go do things on their own, that he could have easily killed somebody because he didn't want to spend $10 to buy fake bullets to eliminate that risk. So hopefully that answers your question, but you definitely want to use training rounds. When my kids practice with guns in the house, it is always with dummy rounds just to make sure it's safe. What's up, Scuba? Oh, so note she said, I mean, which material, kind, and brand? It really doesn't matter, Rachel. So you can get some of them that are more expensive that are like aluminum, and you can buy those. Those are great. I lose them too much, and you'll realize that as you start, you're going to misplace them and stuff. So I like to just be able to get them cheap. The plastic ones are great. So it frankly just doesn't matter. What rounds are best for the Taurus Millennium that won't jam? It's probably not the ammo that's causing it to jam. It's probably the gun. When you shoot dummy rounds, what happens? Okay, Renee, nothing happens. So when you pull the trigger, it just goes click, and that's it. But nothing comes out. There's no sound. All it allows you to do is just practice loading and unloading and practice those kind of firearm fundamental things safely while eliminating the risk. Okay, somebody says, what's the quietest suppressor you recommend to own? to quiet a suppressor, it's not necessarily the suppressor. It's a lot of other factors. So there's actually 3 different noises that occur when a gunshot goes off. So first, you have the bullet breaking the sound barrier, and that's the crack that you hear. Next, you have the big boom that you hear. That's the gas, the really hot gas. When it touches the cold air, it rapidly expands, and that's what causes that big boom. And the final sound is the action moving back and forth. So a suppressor is only going to fix or reduce that sound of the gas expanding. So hopefully that makes sense. If you shoot a suppressed gun out of a bolt-action gun, it's obviously much quieter than a semi-automatic gun. If you shoot subsonic ammunition, so ammunition traveling slower than the speed of sound, it'll obviously be quieter than supersonic ammunition. Does that make sense? I own several Advanced Armament Corps suppressors. I guess now I own several Silencer Co. suppressors. I've got a Yankee Hill, and I've got a couple others that I really like. Red Dot on the Hellcat, what's your idea? Yeah, I really love the Shield Red Dot. I thought it was going to be too small when I saw it in magazines and in other videos, but I actually really like it. I think I want to put one on a Glock 43X. I think that'd be pretty cool. Okay, Cobb says, are you guys working on an app? Yeah, we've tossed the idea around. When you sent that message, or Tiffany brought it up to me, I don't know when you sent it to her. Yeah, it is something. I probably need to reach out and just see to a developer how much it's going to cost and if it's a priority. We've got all the back-end stuff done already. I just need somebody on the front end to actually handle it. Okay, somebody says, is Olight better than Streamlight? I don't know as far as quality goes because I'm not a super tech person researching that stuff. I have more experience with Streamlight, but I am very impressed with Olight. Olight products seem to be extremely high quality, very, very good stuff. But I've been using Streamlight for a decade, so obviously there's like a lot of history there. I didn't even know Olight existed until about a year ago, maybe 13 months ago. So my experience with them is still very, very low. But so far, I really like it. Their lights are very bright. They seem to be relatively inexpensive. So Juan says, what do you think about the Taurus G3? Oh, yeah. Tiffany says Streamlight has great service, too. Yeah, I just think they're amazing. Juan says, what do you think about Taurus G3? You can rewatch this stream or wait tomorrow. We'll have timestamps in it so you can find it easily. You can hear my whole story of why I dislike Taurus. But yeah, you can figure that out. Dr. T says, what about SureFire? Yeah, SureFire lights are awesome. I'm planning to put a SureFire light on this HK. The problem with SureFire lights is they are very expensive. So just so you guys understand how it works, when let's say this cell phone right here, if my company was going to sell this iPhone case to the federal government, I don't get to tell the government how much I want for this. They look at all of my invoices for the last 2 years, and whatever the cheapest price is that I have ever sold this iPhone case for, that's what the government's price is. So the reason that Pelican, who makes the big plastic cases, SureFire, sells their products for so high and why they will never discount them is because they're trying to make sure their goal is focused on the government. They want the bar set very high so that they don't get screwed with low margins. So I think they're great. I think they're amazing, but I just think they're a little bit expensive sometimes. Okay, so Michelle says, Ryan, what is the best and most durable coating on handguns for longevity? Blued, Cerakote, Parkerized, anodized, or something else? Michelle, probably Cerakoting is going to be the best. With any type of coating on a gun, though, you still have to maintain it properly. I was looking at my carry gun, which is pretty new. It's only a year old, but I've already got some pretty good scratches and dings in it and stuff just because I literally carry it every day, right? And I'm putting it in and out of my safe every single day. So you still got to really maintain it, but I really like Cerakoting. And it also, frankly, depends on what gun it is. Like, if I bought an old Colt revolver, I wouldn't want to Cerakote it because that would be like ruining the history of the gun. I would want to re-blue it, re-parkerize it so that it was back to the original kind of finish, and then I would just want to take care of it. But if it's a new modern gun, I would say Cerakoting. Cerakoting's cool because it allows you to kind of customize it to whatever your personality is, which is always really neat. Okay, Dr. T says he never knew about SureFire yet. Juan says, have you seen the holsters for fat guys? I don't know what you mean, Juan. Yeah, I do understand it's different. You probably got to carry at the 430 position, right? So it's comfortable. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Could rephrase your question and maybe I can help you. Okay, Olight has been around before 2006, one of the oldest makers. Okay, that's awesome. I don't know how it slipped. I'm pretty like astute in things like this, but somehow it just slipped my radar, but that's okay. What would you recommend for an AR-15 or a 300? I would say buy something while you can is what I recommend. Get something that's mil spec. So chrome moly palladium barrel. It needs to be at least 4140 steel for the barrel, in my opinion. 70-75 aluminum for the upper and the lower. M16 bolt carrier. And the rest of the crap doesn't matter. So the rest of the stuff you'll just swap out. Yeah, LMT is great. Again, you're a doctor. You're right, Dr. T. That's why you can afford the LMT. But they're awesome. They're just pricey. Okay, so Greg says, Ryan, are you still getting a lot of people taking the concealed carry class? Just wondering if we are getting a lot of people applying. Yeah, we still have a decent amount. Obviously, things have gone down a little bit because the inauguration is over. So things were super hectic from November to January. And I predict it'll probably be pretty slow until Joe Biden, or if Joe Biden actually announces what type of gun control stuff they're going to do. You got to remember, people move based off of fear. So if they're not highly motivated, they're just not gonna, they're not gonna be ready to do it. Hey, Placid Saint says, do you have to register your pistols in Florida? No, it's actually illegal to register a gun in the state of Florida. You heard that right, illegal. So I have a video on the Carry University YouTube channel that breaks down the law in Florida that says that it's illegal. So check that out. I took his class before I moved to North Carolina. Awesome. Thanks, Juan. Well, guys, I am going to have to end it here. If you guys have, let me see where it's at. If you guys have any questions for me that you want to submit for next week, visit carryuniversitylive.com. And if you guys do not have your Florida concealed carry permit yet, visit that link right there, carryuniversity.com. We've got the greatest concealed carry permit course in the state. And we have amazing instructors, just like Cobb, located all across the state, and Craig, that can help you guys get the live fire portion of your training done and get you your permit quickly. So visit that link and we will take care of you. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I greatly appreciate ya. Make sure you share this, help us grow this video or grow this channel. And I'll see you next time. Be safe.